What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? This is Daniel, the conservative Papi. I'm here today, just gonna come up here for about 15, 20 minutes or so. Kind of gonna talk about Las Vegas, the shooting, the Puerto Rico humanitarian trip by Trump, and what's going on afterwards. With everything. More than anything, all I can say it's, man, did the country lose its mind this week, or are we just dealing with more Trump crap and social media? That's what's scary right now. It's that the media is controlling the messaging, not the White House. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, I know I'm a huge proponent of the First Amendment and the freedom of the press, freedom of religion, and so what and so forth. But I don't want this country to be ruled by leftist, radical idiots that all they want to do is continue to dictate how we in this country do our business. I don't want people to tell us how to believe and how to think. So here it goes. Tuesday, Donald Trump went to Puerto Rico. He went to Puerto Rico to meet with the victims of the hurricane and the victims of the disaster. Some bizarre videos. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but there's this video of Donald Trump handing out supplies to the victims, and it honestly seems like he's working a concert. It looks like the people are into it. It's really bizarre. It's really tough to gauge what the people are trying, what they want or what they don't want. I don't know if it's just because, Puerto Ricans are we love having fun. We love making the light of many situations, but this is weird. President of the United States literally basketball style throwing paper towel across the room. I think all sides are taking this out of context. I think that the president was just trying to brighten up the room. The right is over analyzing what he's saying, over complimenting, and the left is over analyzing and critiquing. It's crazy how this works, man. It's so crazy. It's scary. And I think the worst part about this trip was that he calls out the debt. He calls out the debt. He calls out how he's breaking the budget to help Puerto Rico. Bro, Donald Trump, news to you, but as a Puerto Rican, bro, I'm an American citizen too. We're not entitled, but we served in military. We have served alongside the United States in close proximity for over 100 years. If there's any other country in the world that deserves the help, it is Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has done more for this country with its citizens than Mexico has, than Argentina has, than any other country left in the world. We have been a military outpost. We have doctors, lawyers contributing to the U.S. economy. And now that the people are hurting, you want to call out budget crisis because of a corrupt government? Or just a corrupt government, just not doing a humanitarian trip? That's my only critique, really. Moving on to Las Vegas, man. La Vega. I personally think this guy was, oh man, he was and is a politically motivated individual, politically radicalized. He is a terrorist. It's insane that this isn't getting more press. It's insane that whenever you do find something, it's labeled a conspiracy theory. It's labeled something negative, alternative media. It's labeled weird things. But what are we supposed to do? I mean, are we supposed to just shut up and take the pictures and say, hey, this dude shot up over 60 people, injured hundreds more. Reports from earlier in the press conference said that there might be a second shooter. This was an organized attack on America, not just Las Vegas, on America. The American people deserve the answers, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know what people are expecting, but they're slow to come out with the news. They're slow to come out with more information. And the only people that know the truth is Stephen Paddock, the evil psychopath that killed himself, or somebody killed, depending on the source you read, and the other person or whatnot. This guy was this was an insane attack. I mean, I thought the Pulse nightclub was the worst it could get. I thought Sandy Hook was bad enough. This is a whole new level. They were sitting, they didn't even know what was going on. It's crazy. It was an attack to the heart of America. It was an attack to the people, to the spirit. It was a terrorist attack. I mean, the people that are calling this white terror, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. Call it for what it is. This was a terrorist attack. Homegrown or not, this was a terrorist attack that needed to be said, that needed to be addressed. I think the next couple of minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and lay out what I think this is leading up to. And I think time will prove me right, because I'm holding this event, and I'm holding the past year and a half holding it up to the mirror of history, and holding it up to the mirror of not being a conspiracy theorist, but putting dots together and holding them up to history. Everybody knows what happened in Cuba with civil unrest and then the eventual communist takeover of Castro. All for la revolución. So, I don't know. Here's the deal. Let's just take the last year. From November 6th to today. Massive protests and civil unrest. Let's take the protest of the women's protest directly after. You have public figures calling for resistance, calling for action against Donald Trump and his administration. I want to say Madonna was quoted saying, "I feel like blowing up the White House." Lady, do you know that you influence millions upon millions upon millions of people? You have the power to call for peace and unity, yet you use it as a moment to call yourself another feminazi and call for violence. That's the first major call, right? Then you have politicians echoing what she said, saying we must resist the Donald Trump administration. We will not accept the Donald Trump administration. Look, man, I'm not a big fan of the guy. I voted for him, and I'm still on the fence about him. I was on the fence about him in the voting booth. But damn, are you fucking kidding me? This is ridiculous. You can't have this. You can't call for violence and expect people not to act. Say, oh, it was rhetorical. It was just freedom. No, it's a call to violence. Free speech comes with responsibility. I believe you can say whatever you want to say. But I believe you have to have the responsibility to call for peace over violence. But I guess since I am a radical free speech advocate, I have to deal with this too, you know, that the call for free speech sometimes is a call for violence, especially when it comes from a politically motivated individual. On top of that, then we go into the Berkeley, Milo Yiannopoulos riots, and the countless riots at Berkeley since then. Cops being told to stand down, Antifa taking stronghold. They have come like a freaking wildfire over the last year. Not only, you know, it's like every movement from BLM to Occupy all of a sudden morphed into this Antifa weird concoction. It's crazy. A few months later, Steve Scalise and the congressional baseball game was shot up by a communist Bernie Sanders supporter. And Bernie Sanders is another leader of the resistance, you shame to your freaking constituents you are. Then Charlottesville. And in between every event, there were massive civil unrest, massive protests on the college campuses and on other places. But this is ridiculous. We need to start putting these puzzles and these pieces together and say, hey, this is more than just a lone wolf. This is more than just another shooting, more than just another demonstration. Is this the communists finally making a move on a weak country? We're trillions of dollars in debt, and now they're trying to make a move into our country? The ones who hate capitalism that gave them their iPhones and their Starbucks. It's hurtful to see this. I don't know what the best answer or the best news is for this, but we need to start putting the dots together. And the next dot is I want to put this event on the timeline of the communist revolution. Shots fired. Las Vegas. Shots were fired. He wasn't alone. He was a possible Manchurian candidate. It sounds like tinfoil conspiracy theory. But I think over time, and if we read all the right information and don't let the mainstream dictate how this is being sent to us and how we consume this, we might find out way more than what we're in for. There's more information to be found out regarding Stephen Paddock, that dipshit motherfucker. And whoever he was doing this for, he wasn't alone. There was somebody with him. It was a two-man job. 60 plus people. I'm not exactly sure of the number. I have to go look at the numbers again. But 60 plus people were affected. My prayers out to them. God bless them. And thank you everybody for listening to the Conservative Papi Podcast. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Like my business page on Facebook at Conservative Papi. Thank you so much for watching. This is Daniel. And thank you so much.